Hello, friends. This is your host, Angie, for From Religion to Woohoo. And I am coming to you today with just a really short episode. At least that's what I plan at this point. Just wanted to share a little bit about growth, meditation, manifestation, healing, and how it all comes together. Today, at least in the United States area, is the full moon. And I've been following the moon for many, many years. When I first started to notice that I'm like really activated by it, or it affects my emotions, and it makes complete sense because the moon's energy is so powerful that it can change the waves in the ocean. It impacts how plants grow. You're supposed to plant, actually tonight is the full moon. Yeah, so planting things in your garden that will grow in this next season. This is the perfect night to actually plant it. So, I would spend some time meditating or releasing something. So depending on if it's a full moon or new moon, I will tap into that energy and just use it to get in touch with myself, with my, my spirit, and just hear some things that I need to either release or things that are things I should manifest into the future. And this week has been rough. I'm going to just 100% say that. I've had a really rough week. And I think part of it is sometimes when we go through rough moments, we want to fight against them, because they feel really uncomfortable. They feel like they're just hard moments where you feel restricted or you don't feel your best, and you it's thundering here, so hopefully you guys don't hear that, but I love that noise. Anyways, I have like I said, it was just been a really rough week, but what I'm really thankful for is that even though it's been a rough week, I'm really thankful for the opportunity to allow this time to use to reflect and to look in the mirror. There's been a lot of things happening recently that are going to impact me and my future, and with the book release, and then kind of getting some other things lined up where I'm going to start really exposing myself to the public a little bit more. It's kind of humbling, scary, and exciting at the same time. And what I have always desired is to remain completely humble and to always be led by love and in my actions and my words. And I haven't always been able to do this because when you come from a mindset of trauma, you almost are fighting against this demon of old beliefs of who you are. And finding the balance of having self-worth, self-love, and having a just an authentic trust in yourself, where you just really like yourself. It's really okay to like yourself, but yet not allowing that to become overly prideful or aggressive in the way that it comes about. And it is really hard balance because the world around us is constantly pushing us into being something that either we believe it wants us to be, or what it is trying to create. And so finding the inner strength to be authentic in your own self without the need to cater or bend to what society thinks or what another person thinks, or how there's you're always going to see like very kind and humble people that are seen in the public eye, and then you're going to see prideful people that are like really just kind of selfish, and make it kind of about what their gain is in it. And most people are really drawn to the people that are like more humble and, you know, caring and giving and want to, you know, get, like, I think about even celebrities that like give to charity and things like that. And so, and I'm not comparing myself to a celebrity at all, like, but like, I think about people like Oprah, you know, she is, I mean, the entire world knows who this woman is. And well, at least most, I would say there might be a few people that don't. But when you think about Oprah, there's going to be two different views. There's going to be the view that I used to have when I was in religion, where I was told she was speaking against God. It was like a false God that she, you know, you shouldn't follow or listen to her because she'll lead you away from God and things like that. Like, I actually heard that, like, don't like Oprah, basically. And then on the other side, like, because I always really liked her before I heard that, and then I was told not to, so I quit. And then now that I'm back on the other side, like, I just admire her strength and her ability to be completely herself, completely, like, she's always remains humble, yet with this ability to maintain a self-value and self-love. Like, she's open to learning, but she's also like in knowing that there's going to be things that she constantly is going to learn, but there's also this like solid foundation about who she is, that things do not shake her, if you know what I mean. And what I really love, like, I do follow her podcast a little bit, and what I love is that she's open to sharing those moments where she's not in her best self. And so those are the kind of people I use as my example, as like, you know, as I continue to move into this new phase of my life where I'm seen a bit more by the public, where I'm doing a little bit more, like, allowing myself to have a firm foundation on the trust of who I am. And like, that's by getting to know your own spirit. But, you know, for myself, is through meditation and prayer and mantras and just cleansing my energy and staying aligned with my highest self. And for somebody else, it may be completely different on how you do that. But what I think is important is that we can stay firm in our truth and stay balanced and actually truly loving ourselves and believing we have worth and value, but yet on the same side, knowing that there's always going to be something to improve in, there's always going to be something to grow in. And that's where I want to be. Like, I want to be in both, and I want to manifest both, where I'm open to hearing if you see something in me that is coming against, like, if it's arrogant, prideful, if it's, you know, there's some things that you can't control how other people view or see you. Like, they're going to take whatever you say and think it's horrible because it rubs against, it triggers them in some way, where it brings up something in you. And what we have to understand is we can't control other people's energy. We can only control ours. And sometimes when something pops up that is coming from another human, that is something that's actually inside of us that we need to also work on. And so it's kind of like mirroring. Like, we often mirror each other. And so when we see something in somebody else that we don't like or triggers us, that usually means we have it too. Or else we probably wouldn't likely be able to see it so clearly. So when I have these moments pop up in my life where I get mirrored or something pops up and I'm confronted by something, like, I don't want to automatically just become defensive and angry and aggressive in that moment. I want to take that moment and I want to step back and say, okay, what is this teaching me? What is this showing me that I need to work on within my own self, so that I don't start to manifest this into the world, or if I have manifested it, if I put it out in the world in some way, I can correct it at this point. And so I've been really trying to do that a lot this week, and several things have come up for me where it's been kind of blows at me to actually take time to do it. And so I'm really thankful for those moments. I can't control what happens after those moments with any people around me or things like that, but I can control myself and my outcome and how I handle the situation, and that's my focus. Another thing that I heard last night in my spirit, I went on a walk and I was listening some podcasts and things on my phone, and this woman was talking about the same thing, kind of, taking time to look in the mirror. And then she asked us to think of an animal, and this animal would speak to us in some way. And so, as I'm walking, I kind of allow myself to relax and get into this meditative state. Yes, you can meditate while you walk. And what came to me was turtle, like a turtle, which was really weird because, other people were getting like tigers and lions and all these really prideful animals. But I got a turtle. And what I heard in my spirit was, and actually what's really funny, I have to just say this on the side, when I was meditating this morning, I actually saw myself as a turtle. Oh my gosh, it was funny. I saw my head poking out of a turtle shell. Like I was the turtle. It was just, I actually laughed. It was really funny. But the message behind it, and it goes back to that story, that childhood story of like the hare and the turtle, so the rabbit and the turtle in a race, and how the turtle wins. So what I kept hearing was, just because it seems slow or isn't showing up when you think it should show up doesn't mean it's not going to show up. It means that you are in the process of growing and pruning and expanding in who you are. And to get to that next phase, to get to where you want to be, you have to go through this. You have to allow it to happen instead of just bulldozing through. Like, you cannot rush healing. You really, truly can't. You can't rush healing. You can't rush deconstruction. You can't rush shadow work. You can't rush these things. You have to let them come into you and just blend with yourself so that you can manifest and pull out parts of yourself, like what I was talking about just a minute ago, that are, and release these so that you can step into your authentic self and your authentic power and your authentic calling, and remain in love and remain humble in some ways. And so if things seem to be moving slowly in your life, like I have kind of felt lately, then, which is interesting because they are and they aren't. Like, I guess the things I want to see aren't here yet, but I know they're coming. But allowing the small moments, allowing the moment right now to be what helps you to manifest the next one. If you resist this moment and you bulldoze to the next, you're not going to learn a lesson in this one. You're going to have to come back and repeat it. So allow it, release, and just lay back and flow. If you've read my book, you will have read about my leaf, the leaf lesson, and how the leaf was fighting against a rock. And when it finally released the fight is when it started to move and grow. And so that is what the lesson is to release and allow. And the lesson that you're supposed to learn in this moment, the growth that you're supposed to have will happen. But don't take it as a bad thing. Allow it, be grateful for these little moments that are hard. I'm grateful, even though this week really has sucked and I just want to sit and cry right now. I am so grateful for this to show me what it is I need to work on in myself instead of just bulldozing through to the next thing. So that is what I wanted to share today. I hope that this helps somebody. I know I need to hear. I'll probably come back and listen to my own podcast episode today because I just need this reminder that it's okay. Things are okay. Just allow it. So I send you all the most abundant universal love that there is out there. I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is.